It's Captain Roger. Let's go for a walk. You know, the people of Israel walked with God to the edge of the Promised Land, and then they sent scouts to check it out. And everything there was just as beautiful as they'd been promised. The land was fertile and wonderful. The grapes were just ripe and ready for harvest, and a single cluster on a branch took 2 men to carry it. But there were other tribes in the land, and when the scouts returned, 10 of them had been intimidated by what and who they'd seen, and they started rumors of giants striding a land that devoured any ordinary inhabitants. And so the people were frightened, and they decided to stop walking with God, this God who'd brought them out of Egypt and into this terrifying place. And they began to look for a leader who would bring them back to Egypt, back to slavery and oppression that had been killing them, but which they remembered as being more comfortable than freedom. And the 2 scouts who'd returned praising God for the land that he was giving them were appalled, as were Moses and Aaron. And they reminded these people that, well, they were walking with God. There was nothing at all to fear. And the people responded by beginning to work up the courage to stone their leaders to death. This is where God stepped in, and he offered them these reassuring words. After everything that we've been through together, they still don't believe in me. Hey, Moses, how about I just kill them all and then you and I start over? Now, Moses talked the Lord out of this plan. These bulky folks were already associated with the name of God, and if they were lost in the desert, they would just make him look bad that way too. Can you imagine if the best thing anyone could say about you was that your corpse will put up a stench wherever it happens to die? So God lays out a new plan. He says, look, they don't have to go into the Promised Land. In fact, they're not allowed to go into the Promised Land. Instead, they're going to continue to live in this nomadic, exiled way that they have been. They couldn't go back, but they didn't get to go forward either. They would just be stuck until a new generation grew up to take their place. And as a sign that this was the final word, the 10 guys who foolishly started this rebellion against God all dropped dead. Which makes sense when you think about it, because if God is who and what we believe him to be, the author and sustainer of life, then what is the logical end result of walking away from him? I mean, forget all the movie and dime store novel nonsense you've heard about there being some kind of battle or struggle between good and evil. Instead, just think about this. God is the source of life. He may have given us the power to decide for ourselves whether we're going to walk with him or away from him. But where do you get when you walk away from the source of your life? Obviously, you get away from your life. And if you get away from life, where are you? Dead. Food for thought. I'll try to bring you something a little more upbeat tomorrow. Right now, though, I need to finish my walk while I think about this. Grace and peace to you all.